Thank you for watching the Arizona Breakdown podcast. My name is Andre, and today we are joined by
Eric Davis,
Anthony Esposito,
Ryan Johnson,
Aaron Hale,
Michael Fiorino,
and we are going to be talking we're going to be shooting the shit, talking about the scene, seeing what we can get going. So
shooting a lot of shit.
I actually kind of wanted to start it off though with talking about everybody's favorite era of going to shows. Like, what was everybody's favorite kind of timeline there? For me, I think it was like, I want to say it was like 2014. It was like right around, when was the clubhouse still open? Was that 2012?
That was like 2012, man.
2012?
The clubhouse was dead before I even got here.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
last
the
time
one
I
that
remember
showed?
in 2000.
Yeah.
That was before I got here. No,
Really?
right after I got here.
Dude,
that was 2010.
That's the last time I remember.
really?
That
that
was
was the
being
first
there.
time ago.
God damn, then, yeah,
shows.
I'm completely
Graduated.
off on the year
You're getting
then.
old, bro.
Dude, that shit, it's a legend now. That's all it is. Like, I came here and they're like, man, the clubhouse. I'm like, what is that? Oh, it doesn't exist anymore. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I didn't know it was that big of a deal until it closed down. Because I was like, I was so young when I went to I saw like In Fear and Faith and some other I didn't even know I was gonna see them. It was the kid across the street was like, here, buy tickets to this fucking show. I was like, okay, because I was like 16 and my parents actually let me go. You know, so I was like, cool. And then that's why I saw In Fear and Faith, and it was at the clubhouse, and it was so. I was like, this is like concerts. All I saw was like these big venues as far as like internet went, and then like I actually got to go there, and that was crazy. And then when I heard it got closed down, I was like, holy shit, for like, especially with everything that happened.
Yeah.
I was like, what the
and
fuck?
now we have nothing.
Yeah. Because, like, didn't we get Rocky Point Cantina for a little bit after that?
That was, and
place
then
was
that
so
closed
shady.
down.
Yeah.
It was
Never
a
been
sketchy
there.
place.
Didn't that get bar rescued?
I saw Greeley Estates.
Oh, shit.
I saw Greeley Estates there, and it was sketchy. It was sketchy time.
I was so like sheltered as a kid, dude. Like when it comes to like those eras of fucking like shows, I really didn't get into like the local scene heavily until like 2014, 2013 time.
Okay.
So like that's honestly like I want to say that's probably my favorite time because that was such an exciting time for me just in general because it was like I finally got to like see more of the local aspect aside from being on Facebook and stalking everybody and being like, what's it like to be in a fucking band? I always wanted to be on that other side, you know? And then but I remember going there and supporting everybody and thinking it was super cool around that time frame. But I mean, I love it now too, but just thinking about it back then, like the bands that were around at that time, because there's local bands kind of like stop on they start new projects or whatever. But just I don't know, that'd be my favorite era. It's like 2014 time too. So
Fucking rude.
Oh my god.
Rookie mistake.
you fucked up, dude.
Oof.
Talking about Cantina,
Cut.
though, I did see, like, shout out to Jack Fleegler. That's the first time I saw Singularity was at fucking Rocky Point.
Oh, shit.
Cantina,
Yeah.
I think. And that was a minute ago. That was before Nate was even around in the band.
Oh, so with
Yeah.
John Lowe?
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I don't remember the guy's name.
Yeah,
But
okay.
It was pre-Nate Bigelow. So it was,
Then I think I'm pretty sure that was John Lowe at that point.
Yeah, like I saw that when Nate was in the band. So
Yeah.
That's all I know. And I'm kind of on board with Anthony too, like how he was saying, just pretty much right when he came into the scene. Same thing for me. Like I felt like I came into the scene a lot later than I should have. Like I didn't realize what was there. Like I started playing at a really young age, but I didn't come into the metal scene until like maybe a year before I joined Elapse of Ethos. And
Okay.
that was my favorite time because honestly, I was watching the Exiled Martyr and playing for Elapse of Ethos, and that was just a super cool time for me watching these guys, and it just blows my mind that I'm like actually in the group now playing. So definitely look up to all my bandmates.
It's always hard to choose a favorite time frame because I mean,
You were there for fucking all of them.
like I started going to local shows right around 2000, but I didn't really know that I was being involved in the local community. I was just a little young 14-year-old kid going into shows at local pizza joints and churches, and when Stratum Laser Tag used to have shows, and backyard shows were more of a thing because there really wasn't any venues that were more up with the times back then, and that was during a time before even social media consumed our lives. So like to find out about shows, at least during the early just 2000s, it was still word of mouth. It was still flyers. It was still on the ground promotion. And then like certain shows would pop off, and they would be at churches again. They'd be at boys and girls clubs. And those were some really good introductory, just times. And, seeing Scary Kids for the very first time at like, a pizza joint, battle of the bands, and seeing them play at Big Benny's Pizza. And it was jam packed. And then, to kind of see the scene evolve when early pop punk was a thing. And then venues like Nita's Hideaway and just Bash on Ash. And then when Screamo became a thing and the drive-through records trend. And then that's when like Screamo became a thing. And then wearing girl pants and sewing in your, shirt to like see how tight you can make your clothes. How much like Edward Scissorhands, like, just can you get with the hair, with the makeup and everything. When Norma Jean and Under Oath came out and they were like, kind of like what, Knock Loose would be like now of like, oh yeah, you go to shows, you think you're hard. Well, I listen to this hard music kind of a thing. And that's kind of the vibe it was, at least in the school halls. But, and then the 03 through 06 trend, that like whole entire just Taking Back Sunday and The Used and Finch. And then the whole entire hardcore, just like the whole entire just Trust Kill music scene, like that infused into it. And then all of the venues back then, like back when the clubhouse was just the bar. And then you had the sets, and you had the Old School Fix out in Phoenix, and you had the Complex, and then you had like churches, the Vertical, and then they'd have shows there. And then the deathcore scene would pop in, and then that was the trend music, just genre. And then Metal D 2 and Cell Block and just Badlands and Old World Brewery and and all those shows. And those were pretty ruckus shows from all those venues. And that was a really fun ruckus time. And then, even from 08 through 010, there was a really strong Screamo scene, that Bless the Fall, I Set the Kill, Greeley Estates. And even during that time frame, Knights of the Abyss and Joffrey Cowboy came out. So that was a really thriving music time for Arizona too. And then from 2010 onward, it kind of goes like up and down with like the music trends of like, okay, like it gets buzzing and then it kind of fizzles out, and then it goes back up again and it fizzles out. And but my favorite time frame would have to easily be from like 03 through like 09.
Okay.
Just that, like, just that entire just chunk of time was really fun.
Hell yeah.
Oh, my turn. Okay.
A lot there.
I hate every single era.
No, I can't even talk. Like
every single era had like its ups and downs. So
Yeah.
like, I didn't go to my first show until like 2010. Like I was a junior in high school, and it was Thrash and Burn 2010. So even then, like I wasn't even in the scene. Like I lived in Georgia at the time, and so I went to the Masquerade and shit, and before they tore it down, and it was like this legendary venue, I guess, and that was the first show I went to, and then I moved out here, blah, blah, blah. And so I didn't start going to shows until 2012, 2013. So apparently, I guess that was after the scene temporarily died, after the whole 2008 shit. The whole I guess because dude, it's funny because like I used to think it was bullshit until I talked to more older people, and they're like, "Yo, fuck hardcore." I'm like, "Whoa, what happened?" They're like, "They ruined the scene." I was like, "Well, it wasn't hardcore. It was like the whole idea of like the cruise and shit."
Yeah,
allegedly
about that shit.
And so
Allegedly.
but
unquote.
yeah, right. But so I came in when it was like starting back up, I guess, and like getting more popular. But I think it was just like in a valley as far as like you were saying, it was like ups and downs.
True.
Like after that. But honestly, like probably like from 2000, like the first time I started going to shows like 2013 up until like probably 2015, which is probably when like I started seeing most of my favorite bands during that time period. So I think that's why like the hype was me for like, being young and going to shows. It's like, it's way different than like being older. Like we've seen a shit ton of shows. We've seen all sorts of acts, blah, 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 blah. And let's face it, we're not easily impressed anymore. Fair enough. When you first start going to shows, it starts when you're like 13 or when you're like 18, and
you just like stared like
everything is new to you, and then you meet your idols. Like that was the thing. Like I met most of my favorite artists during that time. Like I met and talked with like Kevin from within the ruins. Like we went and hung out and and drank with Veil Amaya before after a show, and it was just it was nice because it was endearing. Because it was like, oh, these people are just like us. Like, it was that feeling again.
It's like a reminder. Yeah, it's like, holy shit.
It was super down to earth, man. Like, I honestly, like, out of every artist I've ever met, like, I haven't met someone who was an asshole. Like, people to have stories of like, oh, that dude was a dick. I've been fortunate enough to never have my idols be assholes.
Yeah.
So,
see, yeah, I've heard stories about some of my like idols being assholes, but I've never seen it. Like, everybody hears stories about Michael Keane, but like, I remember the last time I saw him, it was at the Nile, and he was just zooming around the parking lot of the Nile on a Segway.
dude,
It was just like, how can you be mad at that?
He's so fucking happy.
dude, I walked straight up to Michael Keane after his show, and I was just like, hey, yo, fuck metal sucks. He was like, dude, thank you.
No, dude.
Nice dude, man.
Meeting people that like you looked up to and then finding out they're super shitty or just like they have a bad reaction, it sucks. But what I hate even more is when like people are like, oh, I love this, and you're like, no, fuck that guy. They're like, he probably had a bad day. And he's super sweet to me whenever I'm like, you probably are like, yeah, it's like you fucking suck his dick. Like, of course he like you're gonna be nice to him or whatever. He's gonna be nice to me. I was just like, hey, dude, I'm a big fan. How long have you been singing? He goes, a long time. And I was like, oh.
He cool guyed you, dude.
Dude, not just that. Like, this was like my first time going to the Marquee Theater ever, right? Like, I got to go. I was like, oh, I'm at this show, and fucking, I was with like Alisana, and I don't remember who else was there, but I know it was like, I don't want to say the name of the band that pissed me off, but fuck them. It wasn't Alisana. They're sweet, and I love them. And
someone's got to go look up that show, dude.
No, let them, and they'll probably figure out who the fuck the punks were.
Process of elimination. It has to be this one.
And now they're also, I'll put it to you, they're also jacking out another band from here, Swag. Yeah. And that made me super mad to see. Fucking, have you seen any of that shit? I'll tell you what, I'll mention Dropout Kings because they're the dudes. But yeah, no, they're jocking Dropout Kings swag. I'm not happy about it whatsoever fucking ever.
Oof.
But fuck the dudes who are jocking the swag. They know who the fuck they are.
Right?
But when I liked them, and I was like, dude, how long you been singing? He's like, a long time. It's like, oh. All right, and I was like, well, have a nice night. He just fucking walked away from me.
Dude.
Like, left me, like, he acknowledged the fit and then just, like, walked away and, like, to go talk to girls or whatever. I was like, okay, fucking Mr. Motley Crue, motherfucker.
Right.
Dude. You ain't shit. I don't care. Don't treat people like that.
Day.
Yeah, see? He had a bad fucking day.
No, dude, dude, honestly, from those times, oh, wait, I take that back. I have one bad band experience.
I was going to say, there's got to be one, dude.
Just like, you were there. And
accomplice.
I would listen. I've never wanted to square up so bad, but ever since then, every time I hear that band's name, I'm like, dude, fuck them. Yeah. Like, and I don't know why. Like, again, it's probably a bad day. It really was, but it does. It shows you how important first impressions are.
Yeah,
real shit. Like when I think about it, there's nothing technically wrong with the band except that one incident, and I'm like, I don't want to listen to your music now.
Yeah, it's all takes, and dude. You just gotta treat everybody nicely.
You do, like, even when you're tired, and that's the hardest part probably about being in the band and probably touring, especially if you go, if you're fucking road warriors. And like traveling all the time, you hear the same conversations probably every day,
right?
Same question every time, but you have to approach it every time like it's the first time you ever heard it. And that's hard to do. But
at the same time, but what's so hard about being like, you know what, dude, man, I'm super fucking tired. I'm super stoked that you're here to see us, but give me like 5 minutes. And then like, it's not like fucking blowing them off if you're like, I gotta go.
No. And I get that. But also like you have like certain like people in bands who have probably like social anxieties and shit too. And they end up coming off like assholes. Yeah. And I think that's another thing to understand as well. Like I really do try to be understanding, especially in bands that like I've met members who are like, hey man, I'm like, dude, you look tired, man. Dude, I just want to say thank you. And I leave it at that.
Fair enough.
And I feel like that's enough. Like I'm like, hey, look, you acknowledged my presence. I'm fucking happy.
Yeah.
But again, like I do try to be understanding. Like, I went to go see Between the Buried and Me, and like Dan is like always out talking to everybody and everything. But I was like, I want to go talk to Blake Richardson, and he was just like, he's tired. I was like, of course he's tired. He plays 11-minute songs, like and I was like, I understand, But I think also like sometimes as fans, I think fans could be more understanding of people in bands
they
too.
They should be,
yeah.
And get that again, like you just performed, you're super tired, and like especially if you've been on a 3-week tour. and no breaks back to back every day playing those same songs over and over again, you get tired, dude.
This is what you fucking signed up for. And if you're gonna be like at that point, like if it's like a vocalist, like a face of a band, like at that point you can't. There's no room for you to be like, fuck you.
No, dude. That's an impossible standard. You can't hold that standard for yourself and expect to perform well every time. It's like I'm
gonna do it. I'm holding it for myself. I will never be mean.
No, what I'm saying is like
I'll never be mean to you.
What I'm saying is like that. You're right, and like you should strive for that every time. It's just like if you ever work a customer service job, you should strive that every time that when a customer's being a fucking asshole, you're a super nice guy, right? But there's some days where you're like, I gotta go to my break room right now.
I'm about to find someone.
Anthony, I was gonna say with that, like on tour, that is you're working your job at that point, and like there's gonna be that one person who comes up to you when you've had that one thing. Where it's just like...
But they're saying something nice to you?
Well, not even necessarily saying something nice, but they're just coming off in that one weird tone that sets you off. And then the next person after that is the unlucky person that kind of gets the dickish move.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, too. Like, straight up, like, yo, listen, you have a girlfriend. How many times has your girlfriend done something at home that is so fucking mediocre, but you came home at the wrong time, pissed off, and it's the last thing to set you off? Like, dude, I've come home, and my girl literally will not put the fucking toilet paper roll on the fucking roll, and I will lose it. And I'm like, and then I think about it after, I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I had like a bad day, but it's like the last thing. So it's just like, the dude you're talking to is the energy's way too high. You're like, yo, fucking chill. Or, he could be also a dick, but you're not allowed to be a dick back technically. It's like, you just, like I said, it's kind of trying to be understanding of the situation, man.
Nobody bets 1,000, man.
Dude, straight up.
I guess I just get super irritated. I don't get super irritated with everyone. I get super irritated with people who don't take what they're supposed to do seriously. That's when I think less of someone, I guess. But
disclaimer, if you cool guy somebody, you're fuck you. Okay? Like, that's a disclaimer. Yeah. Don't cool guy somebody.
Exactly.
Okay?
You could just be like, yo, I'm tired. Like, you don't gotta be like...
Yeah.
Dude, man, you're really... Who was it? Fucking, was it... We went to go see... I think Alex went to go see some band. He was like, oh, wow, you're really great. He's like, I know.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, okay.
On that note, though, we're going to take a quick break. All right. Well, we are back. What's up?
Market.
Oh.
3, 2, 1.
And we are back after that commercial break.
I mean, you want to stomp the yard with us, dude?
Oops.
Sorry.
We're going to dive back into it. So, Eric.
What's up?
Tell us, what have you been up to? And what are you doing for the scene these days?
Well, what I do for the scene these days is kind of just be more like a helping hand, a coach, like, if you will, and just really want to see bands prosper and thrive, because I really want to have a local community where it's really thriving, because we have a oversaturation of national shows. So the opportunity for local bands to play national shows is actually pretty good here. And we're pretty fortunate enough to have that in other, markets where they don't, or it's more of a hassle too. But like in Arizona, it's like, well, what about the local community? Like, is there a development really going on? Is there promoters that are really looking out for the interest of the local community to really develop and thrive? So that way, maybe bands that they're not exactly 50 plus, just ticket pushers, which seems to be the precedence to secure your black book spot with any promoter that's able to provide these national opportunities. Well, if you want to secure your spot, you have to at least be a 50 plus ticket minimum to at least secure that. But there's bands that have all the potential, but they draw less that. So there's promoters that just won't work with them until they are. Or a band will start out strong and then they'll just slowly just go down for whatever reason. Maybe it's drive, maybe it's just playing the same time slot with the same national market is not really benefiting that band in particular to really go further. So then even then, it's just like, okay, we go back to the local market. Is there a development scene? Is there people coming together and putting on good, solid local showcase shows for the greater good of our local community? And then that's kind of where I really like to thrive and really help is, all right, cool. I am associated with Fresh Press, and I'm able to provide bands merchandise, which is a good way to have a band create loot to just create income. So that way they're able to, do projects like go get photos and videos and just designs. And then we have a good, solid local community of everyone in those markets to really, help out. And we're all networked, so everyone knows everyone. So now it's like, all right, cool. Now with bands able to make a income, now we're able to reach out and say, all right, cool, what can you work with this budget so that way we're able to thrive off of these moves and able to just get ahead. Yeah. So we have like a whole entire goals, or we have like a whole entire like just step-by-step process. But that's what I like to do with bands that I like to really work with and put them on these, step-by-step plans to really, grow and just develop. Because there's so many ways to thrive. There's so many ways to find success, and not every formula is going to work for your band, And like, there's bands that won't even play a show and get a record deal, and then their first show sells out, But that might be a completely different just country with a different set of local community or even just music community morals and standards. Like it's different everywhere, even with that. And so what works over there may not work over here, and vice versa, because in America, we're pretty stacked with a lot of music. Saturated.
Nope.
Whereas in different parts of the world, it's not as, oversaturated. So they have a different type of perspective on music and a different type of appreciation on music.
So do you have a pro tip for some of the young guys and girls that are just getting started with bands?
Just to get started with bands, I mean, have fun. Like, first and foremost, always have fun, and don't be afraid to, put yourself out there and, trial by error and really figure yourself out. Because if you're gonna really want to do everything right and, invest the thousands of dollars to make all the right necessary steps, those might have the same results as a band that's just putting themselves out there and just going with the flow. Because it's not a sprint, it's not even really a marathon. It's just really, go out there and just have fun and just let the work speak for itself. And if you're passionate about it and if you got the drive, you'll just progress. Whether you're on a development plan, whether it's the band or someone else influencing it, or just the band just growing on its own naturally, you're still going to find the same outcomes.
Yeah. I think that's what breeds a healthy community too, is like everyone's out having fun, hanging out.
And that's what I really miss too about the time era that I really specified back when we answered that, because going to local shows, it had a different vibe then as it does now, and local shows, the same ticket price was still relatively the same. But now it feels like with local shows, if, we might be lucky if we see 200, 250 people consistently, and there's our good local shows where it does more than that, but it's not as frequent as it once was, even back in early 2010 timeframe, where there was a local show every weekend and it was always a full, because it was a really good time to go to. Now it's like, okay, cool, like with so many just other things with living in this digital world and social media and being aware of so many other things happening, you really have to bring all this attention to your shows and really make these shows feel like events for people to really get invested in.
So what do you guys think and I mean, this is like grand scale, like smaller bands as in like just getting started. What do you think some mistakes that like some smaller bands are making? Like,
Oof, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Well, I think a mistake is honestly underestimating like the ticket sales, and kind of like, it sucks to say, but the importance of it at first. Like, I mean, because it's kind of like to go back to like, doing that whole thing over and over sucks ass, absolutely, and having to have that expected. But like, at the same time, you kind of have to have that like understanding, like, even though it sucks, it is what it is. So like, I feel like people like you shouldn't really like piss and moan about it, and like that's one thing is like, oh, why aren't people just there? Like you really do got to put more work in.
Yeah,
you gotta earn your stripes. You know. What
yeah, in a
like,
sense. So it's like you have to do that ticket sales shit, and
agreed. Like
you know.
I think a lot of people like just to piggyback off of that. Like a lot of people like forget like the climate nowadays when it comes to shows is way different than what they're probably accustomed to growing up. Because a lot of people, when we were younger, honestly, like I figured it was like still the same thing of like there's only so many bands doing this, and you know you get lucky, blah blah blah, this that and the third. And like I didn't know all the work that actually went into it.
Yep.
Especially nowadays, you know, and especially with the oversaturation of music, especially in America, like for every one band, there's like 100 bands just like you, and all the thing that makes it different is just like who's gonna work harder to get there, and you know,
and that contact of like talking with people too, like it
dude,
makes
networking is the most important thing
up.
that I don't like to do, and so
but it's like it's so keen for it to be done though.
Oh
you know?
no, like for sure, that's definitely something that I think we underestimate too. Is like straight up talking to people and you know staying humble. Yo, real talk. The whole like pride and ego thing can really get to people's heads real fast.
Yeah, you have one super good show, and then all of a sudden it's like everything's going
Tapery.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Just tapery.
accept, like, remember that moment, because that's another thing too. It's like I feel like one big mistake is like, I really don't believe that there's one thing as like, oh yeah, this is the show, man.
Yeah,
you know
right?
what I mean? Like, you know, no one's gonna approach you with like, I need you to sign here, and here.
You were just what I was looking for.
Yeah,
like
dude.
I was like, as much as awesome as that sounds, and like, you know, after years, maybe it's like someone will talk to you later about like, oh hey, you know, whatever. But
yeah, no,
it's not.
Ain't no Back to the Future shit. Here's this. Like, not happening.
The ones wait, like if this isn't it, like it's not gonna happen. And like have that hope in your head. Yeah, it's super tight, but come to the reality. It's like when it doesn't happen, just be like, yeah, well, of course, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that kind of all these kind of can just be just generalized into a big mistake that bands starting out is that they come at the approach with a naive mindset.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
And it's
Good
just
old
like
summary.
And it's just like there are aspects that go into a band that's successful and a band that's just there to have fun. And that's always a talking topic of like, you know, it's always about fun. Well, I agreed, but like how far are you willing to take it to make this be more than just you're content playing at dive bars, you're content at being a paid gig at a casino, you're content being a live fill-in, you know, getting paid out.
How much fun do you really want to have?
Well, I think there's a difference between like we talked about it before. It's like, yo, do you want to just play for the scene or do you want to play for the world? Like, what do you want to do? And it's two different mindsets. Like we've met a bunch of bands who do just it's the weekend thing, man. They get off their job, they're just like, I'm just gonna play a fucking show.
Yeah,
and that's fun for a lot of people.
Totally fine.
A lot of people like there's definitely no shame in it, but you need to pick a side. Or you're gonna get forced into that. You're gonna realize later, like, oh wait, that's not what I want. It's like, oh well,
and your whole band has to be on that side too.
Yeah, straight up the whole band.
All mindsets equal, absolutely.
And the band needs to be understanding of that too. And then bands that start out that have a lot of insane potential, they could benefit from having a solid lasso and having a third party or an outside just person to just kind of help steer them and be like, all right, cool, like. Try not doing this and try being on this line, and just see how this, can benefit you. So that way you guys are able to grow, and really prosper and just really know that if you want this to really work, you really will benefit from having a solid team around you. Because that's the thing about when you work with bands, if you have management, if you have an agent, if you don't have any of that, you just have really supportive friends and like some sort of like a street team, bands benefit from having teams that are all about supporting them. So that way the band has less stress on the business end and they're more able to focus on making music and really, even having a product for their outside just team to really push. So that way the word gets out there more and, it has a different sort of precedence of like, hey, like we're out here, we're making noise. Because that's how bands get found. They're making noise, whatever that might, be.
And plus having that third party, because I feel like we've all had that, like as a band, we've had that idea that we're just like, yo, this is sick. This is so sick. And then you don't tell anybody else about it. You do it. And it's just kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Having that third party to just be like, yo, actually that kind of sucks. Like, don't do that. Like,
yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
It's the social proof.
Yeah. Like that just outside opinion, like, cause you're constantly surrounded by it. You're in a band, and eventually it might not be right off the get-go, but you start to have the same mindsets. You start to think like each other. You start to know how each other's going to think. So like you're potentially all going to think something's awesome when it just really might not be.
Agreed. No, I definitely agree with that statement, man. Like, it's nice having that third party because like it keeps you grounded to earth, especially when you're in the creative writing aspect. Because I mean, I'm all for creativity and really going out there, but sometimes some projects are too ambitious, and it's not actually what you think it is. And I've seen plenty of bands that have, like, they've shown up, no one's ever heard of them. They play some stuff, and I'm just like, dude, well.
Yeah.
We need that Denny Green sample.
Yeah, I was like, yo,
They are who we thought they were.
I'm like, you can just tell sometimes. He's like, yo, your friends didn't listen to this before you brought them here, did they? Like, like straight up, like you're like watching the crowd, just the cringe. And so, you know, like I do agree, man. You need somebody there. Especially, my biggest thing is like also don't recruit yes man. Like, yes men.
Oh, fuck.
It's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, you need to hear that's like, yo, that was good.
I love when my friends tell me I suck. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
That's my favorite
Tell
thing.
us the truth. It's like, yo, you could have done this. Like, that was one of the greatest things. When I was talking to, like, after a show when I was sick, and I, like, was talking to Mark, and he was like, yo, you did good, man. He goes, but I could tell you're fucking sick. And I was like, thank you for being so fucking honest with me.
yeah.
Was that just a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
I saw that show.
Yeah, it's okay. I do see. I was just like, And he's like, I could actually tell you were sick. And I was like, that sucks, but thank you. You're the first person who's like, everyone's like, you did great, bro.
Like our drummer.
No, like, I love that for the ego.
He's so fucking like, that's like, he was just like super stoked about it. He was just like, yeah, dude, like, I know you're sick. And I was like, yeah, thank you. And like, that's what, but like, shit like that, though, that's good as fuck. So it's like, all right, well, now I got to get better when I'm sick.
Yeah,
right. I got to be good at it.
Nah, it's straight up. Like, I love when my drummer friends tell me, especially like, hey, I saw you messed up here. But not just like as a dick, but just like, hey, I saw you messed up here. Pro tip. And I'm like, hey, there we go, because we're all trying to get better, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like, and I think that leads back to the development of the scene as well, too. Like, you know what? We talk about mistakes still, and like, yo, only participating at your own fucking shows, dude. Real shit, dude. You got to go to other shows. You have to.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you think that would be common sense, give back to the community kind of thing. But I miss that a lot. A lot of people like will just like, hey, come to my show. I was like, I've never even seen you in the scene, dog. Like,
see, but
who
it is
are
hard.
you?
It is hard to make it to every single show, though.
No, we're not
You know
trying to
what I
say
mean?
make it to every single show.
Well, no, absolutely. But like, you gotta go to
dude,
some
we all know
shows.
that one person who never goes to shows.
Yeah.
But somehow they still hit you up to go to their show, and it's like, where are you?
Absolutely, but then like at the same time, it's like, yeah, but if you're just sitting there and you go to like certain shows every now and then, I feel like some people get like, oh, it's like if you don't go to all of them or like as many as people want you to go to there, I'm like, oh, you're just going there because that's your buddy.
I mean, you're
or
always
something
gonna have
like
those
that.
people who are gonna be naysayers or just negative people who are like, yo, fuck you. But
Yeah, you can't please
But I'm
everyone.
talking about just strictly on the aspect of it's like people who just don't go to shows to support the scene. And like I definitely try not just to go to metal shows. Like I try to be at other shows or just like normal rock or indie shows at like Lost Leaf and shit. Like
Fucking rap
I love
shows.
that shit because I'm like all local music. It's like being a part of that is really important because honestly, like it does build a stronger network for yourself. And honestly, like it makes something. It builds you as a person, as a character, as a musician, and people realize that. People really do notice when it's like, dude, weren't you at this one show? It's like, I didn't even expect to see you there. Like, even at Limp Bizkit, dude, like, that night, like, I met, like, 5 people who were like, yo, you're from Exile. And I was like, yeah, man.
Damn.
He's like, damn, I didn't expect you to be at this show. Like, it's, for real, like, showing your face outside of you just playing your own shows in the local scene is, like, actually really important.
It's beneficial, yeah.
It's really important.
Fair enough. That's a good point to top
What
on.
about the bands that like play their set and then go home?
Yo, listen, man.
We understand we got like
If it's
people
Monday,
gotta work
I
and
get it.
stuff,
You
like,
better,
when it's a
get it
consistent
at
thing.
times. But yeah, if you're
like,
always
known
doing that,
for doing
like
it,
you're an
yeah.
asshole.
Yeah, you suck, dude.
Yeah,
But-
man. Like outside of like other prior obligations, or whatever, it's just like, dude, come on, man. Like, especially when you open for a national, it's like, dude, like,
Yeah, come on.
yo,
Yeah, you
especially
gotta
if
stay.
it's nationals, like first time being there or whatever have you. It's just like, man, it really does matter when you're like you stay. Real
Yeah,
talk.
right.
And like your fans are more willing to stay too if
Yeah.
you stay.
The
That's a
moment
big
you
thing.
dip, your fans are gone for
They're
the
like-
most part.
But
Like,
it sucks more when it's like the whole band that leaves. Though.
Yeah.
Granted, if there's like one guy in the band who was like, "Yo, real shit, I do gotta be at work at like 4:30," and we just got done playing. It's like 9 or whatever, and it's like, okay, one of you is gonna go, but I guarantee you, not all of you work that same schedule, so someone could still be there and be like, "Yeah, representing for fucking my band," and they'll be like, "Oh, cool." They're not gonna ask you, "Where's everyone else?"
yeah.
Just that dude had
You know
a bad
what I
day,
mean?
dude. That's it.
Shit, he's just having a bad day.
So, how do you guys feel that, kind of going back, how do you guys feel it's benefited you having Eric?
Yeah, free rub and tugs.
All right, man. I got my paper for grading, dude. No, honestly, working with Eric, it was cool because like I feel like as Exiled, we definitely, you know, I'm not trying to stroke my own dick, but like we have a potential, but like for sure, like we didn't have like a direction or development plan. We were just like hey, we're in a band that's fucking sick enough, you know, but. You know, we started getting to the point where we started thinking about like, okay, do we want to do this like forever? Like, is this something we want to like make a career out of? And then that's the part where it got kind of wishy-washy because we were like, how do you do that? And honestly, Eric like approached us and like, you know, like I met Eric through like prior like bands and just going to shows and stuff. And he like approached me. He's like, hey, listen, like, you know, I'm starting up this management thing. Like, I really do think I'd be beneficial. And, you know, like anybody, we're always skeptical. I mean, he's my boy, but I'm still like, I don't know, champ. But real shit though, like it was.
I was super like blown when he was like, "Hey, this." I was like,
Yeah,
I was super excited.
like me, I'm like I'm a natural born skeptic, so I'm just like, man,
are,
all right,
yeah.
wait, like let's set up a meeting. We like set up a meeting, and like, I mean, he just laid it down for us. He's like, dude, I already have a plan for you. Here it is. And like that was the first thing. I was like, oh, you've already like done your research on us, like know what my band's about, and it's
Yeah.
like this is how we're gonna build you. And I was like,
And that
I was
was-
definitely more susceptible to listen. I was like, okay, all right, you're actually about this shit.
And that's
ever
what had me stoked too, though. Too,
Yeah.
because it's like he knew, like going into like when he hit us up, I remember just being like, you know, I know for a fact like he knows his shit. Like it was just like I had no doubt about it, and like because it's just you've done like other things, obviously, you know, with the past or whatever, but. And I know you pretty much ran a lot of that when it came to like making in all the right direction for the bands you worked with, and that's why like I had just like I remember there was a time where all I did was want to be on like that management team, if you will, and like in the end that was wanting to work with you essentially, because you know that's all I wanted to do. Like, I didn't want to do it with no one the fuck else, but
And that's kind of the general question that just kind of people ask other peers of bands that I work with, and they're like, "What does Eric do?" And I'm just like,
Yeah.
"I'm just someone that helps." I mean, like, really, that's just the easy way to kind of say, it. Like, I'm just here to help and provide bands, you know, the guidance that they could really potentially benefit from. You know, I come from years of experience from working with promoters, from being in a band that put in all the grit, you know, to make sure that we were able to, you know, strive and build opportunities and have a small little drip of success, at least regionally, you know, go on moderate successful tours, you know, and just do label showcases. And, you know, and then once that kind of went inactive, started to branch into more of the music business and learning all those aspects. But I was already drawn to all those aspects anyways. And I mean, even with the humble beginnings of when I was in high school, I mean, I took a bunch of computer graphic classes, and for extra credit points, it was just make your own original artwork. And this was still, again, during a time where word of mouth and flyers. And so I rode the bus route that had all the cool kids in the high school that were all in bands that would come through, and they would come to each other's practices to hang out, but they would still promote their shows. And so I'd say, hey, do you guys need a flyer? Because I need extra credit points. And so I would exchange flyers for you know, just extra credit. And then I became that guy that bands, at least at my high school, were just like, yo, go to Eric for flyers. So I just would stack up on extra credit points. And then from there, at least out in all the Gilbert area where I lived, there was a lot of farm backyards. And I'd be like, hey, let's have a 3-band show and let's just have a good time. And then we would have backyard shows, and I'd just take a bunch of just donations, and I would give, you know, commission cuts, and then I'd have a little portion I'd stack up, and I'd rent out the amphitheater at Freestone, I like the Freestone Park, for like a Saturday afternoon for just 2 hours, just 3 bands locally come on the stage, and then afterwards we can go play at the skate park kind of a thing. Because that was a really trendy thing back in the early just 2000s, was music and skating. Yeah. And so that was a thing back then. And then sometimes going up to the Boys and Girls Club and saying, "Hey, I want to throw a show in the auditorium," or go to like a pizza joint and talk to the manager and say, "Hey, I want to throw a show here." And I was doing all that at like 14 to 15 years old, but I just had that drive to just be like, I just really want to have a good time, but exchange the service in exchange for other service. And then when we started being more active in my band, Lauren Battle, we would start to play all the early deathcore shows, but I was really wanting to network with all the band's crews. So that's where it goes back to networking and going to shows and meeting people, because you never know who you're going to meet at shows, and that goes with any music genre. I've met just as many knowledgeable people at rap shows and at jazz shows that are just as knowledgeable, to pick their brains to bring it over to your music community and vice versa. But you still see different walks of life that look at music differently. And you have a different appreciation towards what you can do when you put yourself out there in your own music community. And so that's what I would always do. I would always just put myself out there and just kind of be more like a people person. And so then I would get word of all these packages from all of the band's crews, and then I would hit up a promoter and be like, "Hey, I have like a whole entire tour package tip. Offer it this price, give it this type of catering just budget. Maybe you should do this for like a back end." Just kind of giving a promoter these tips to get these packages. And then what I would do is I'd say, "Okay, cool. If you got the package, put my band Lauren Battle on it, and I'll make the flyer, and you don't have to pay us."
Hell yeah.
And so the promoter was like, "Okay, cool. We got it." And then whenever they get the package, all right, cool, you're on the show, guys. Sick.
Hell yeah.
But that was my exchange of service.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool, I'm going to offer, a tip. If you get it, I'm going to make the flyer. We can promote the show for you. In exchange, your business thrives. And that's kind of what bands should really, have in the back of their minds, is to be solid business for whoever they work with. Just be good, just be really good, just business people, and that goes from staying from the show from start to finish, really push your show. Don't have an ego or don't have a sense of entitlement. It's just like, yo, are you selling out venues? No. Okay, so why are you coming at me like you think you're worth that? Be a little bit more ground to earth, because, eventually you will sell out this venue, but, you ain't going to get there if you're going to be negative towards people that can help you.
That day is not today.
And being a good businessman does not mean being a sleazeball and taking advantage of people.
Yeah.
So it's like the typical, you imagine someone's like, oh, they're really good at business.
Yeah.
And then eventually making those moves, just kind of carrying that over into my management and development, kind of just taking what I knew from both sides and knowing what it's like to go through the ringer and getting chewed up and spit out by the music industry and saying that your band's not good enough because it doesn't have this or that, or getting looked over, and then a band that you feel is like, yo, why did they get picked over me? What the hell? Getting all those mixed feelings, and then working with promoters that will burn you, promoters that will help you, and then having to pick and choose your, kind of got to pick and choose your battles with, all right, cool. Do I go through the ringer with this promoter to get these opportunities, or do I kind of work with this promoter for a small amount of time so I can develop this route, so that way I'm ready to, go through this opportunity, kind of a thing. What approach is a band, just going at it? Because different promoters, at least locally, they offer different opportunities. They all have different environments with their shows, different ways about how they go about their business. Some are better than others, but ultimately you as a band need to know what you're signing up for. Yeah. And you kind of be like, all right, cool, what bands out of the bunch are really going to kind of pick the right path, if you will, and bands that are just going to kind of fall off, because bands do fall off and bands come and go. That's just a harsh reality. There'll be a band that's really kick ass. You think that they're gonna have all the potential to really thrive, and then they break up in a year or two, for life or something bad. Someone did something bad. Things happen. And so it's like, okay, cool. You might be doing your approach. I might be doing my approach, but are you aligning yourself with the right, support system to really again, have you thrive. And I keep saying that word in this podcast interview because that's where I would like to see our music scene. Because I get people telling me all of the time, you got to think global, not local with what I do. And I'm like, I am, because there was a time where globally people were looking at Arizona as a hot buzzing market. Because there was a lot of bands that were coming out of Arizona that people were aware of from all music genres. You know, I mean, like, hell, we go from as heavy as Knights of the Abyss and just Joffrey Cowboy to, you know, just Bless the Fall to Jamie Eat World to Lifehouse.
Linkin Park.
So, so we have a very, really good music pool here. And so to really make noise, it's going to have regionally look at us and be like, yo, we want to get in on what's ever in your Kool-Aid. Yo, we're going to send over our bands, and that builds a bridge with doing show trades, which is a thing still. And there's different regional markets. I mean, people will have their horror stories of every market, but that goes with any market.
Yeah. And on that one, though, we're going to cut to a break from our non-existent sponsors. What connected you to the bands on your roster? Like what made them stand out to you?
It was our asses.
It's just really seeing the band's drive and really seeing the potential and what they can become, because Exiled Martyr has been around for easily 5+ years, so they're a band that's put in all the time. And so now it's all right, cool. You guys have now put in your, all your time. It's time to take it to the next level to at least get you steered to get out of Arizona. And so that's kind of my thing, is seeing bands that have that it factor, does this band have the drive, have all the necessary, tools, and the understanding, to want to take what they're doing and have it be something more. Because there's bands that I work with that will come and go. And so it's just trying to find bands that are willing to go the distance.
Okay. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Because on your roster at the moment, there's what? Exiled.
Yeah.
Smiled on the center.
Yeah. Apex, Alpha, Ephemeral.
The Ephemeral.
Yeah. And sorry guys.
Not gonna lie, it took me a while to learn how to correct. I think I pronounced it correctly. Let's hope.
Yeah.
If not, I'm sorry as well.
But right now they're on a Home Church's drummer search, but they have a couple that they're going to be just trying out shortly. So they're slowly getting back into the swing of things. So they'll be playing shows hopefully by midsummer.
Oh yeah.
And I just picked up another band recently that I'm really looking forward to putting out to show everyone. I am actually currently scouting for a few more bands, actually. So I'll be around shows more frequently, but those are the 4 active bands that I have currently, and then one that I'm going to announce here shortly.
Any bands looking for help? Facebook, Davis Management Group.
Slide into my DMs.
So, what's everybody's favorite album so far this year?
They came out this year?
Yeah, so far for 2019. What's everybody been listening to? Not necessarily
like
favorite,
nationals as well.
Yeah, just in general.
Okay.
What y'all been listening to?
So
I haven't been listening to anything like new per se. So I can't think of like the last new album I listened to.
I was gonna say After the Burial.
That's evergreen.
Yo.
That was mine.
I've really been listening to Dealer. I love their EP that they just put out. Alpha Wolf's playing out their EP, and those bands have, similar just backgrounds, so it's nice to see them both grow.
Hell yeah.
And everything. But I've been rocking those 2 bands. Blood Youth.
Okay.
They're really good. Bloodline. Bloodline's really good. Dead Crown. They're really good.
I've heard of them.
They're just a really good new metalcore, and
they're part of like that new crop of metalcore. And Stay Sick has been putting out some sick bands lately. You know, they've been on a solid, consistent stream of putting out some solid bands.
Yeah.
So really big ups to Stay Sick on that aspect.
I was listening to a lot of I guess one of my favorite things I've been listening to is Trunk Music 3 by Yellow Wolf. And otherwise, like if anything, like the thing I've been really stoked on so far is Silverstein. They just did their redo 10-year CD, and I mean it's a bunch of like the stuff they released from like Discovering the Waterfront and all their older albums from like 10 years ago. It's fucking gangster as shit, and like I don't know, Silverstein's like my favorite band. So with, like hearing all that, like just they retracked and like redid everything. So it's just that the sound they have now. It was just I was like, holy shit! It was just it's so crisp. It gave me I listened to like 20 seconds of Smile in Your Sleep. And I like hung up, called Chris, and I was like, "Motherfucker, you need to stop what you're doing." And he was like, "Whoa." He got like mad at me because he thought something bad happened, and I was like, "No, you just need to listen to this." And he was like,
"He's put on his track, dog."
Yeah, I swear, I was like, "I've only listened to 20 seconds, and it's different." And he called me back like fucking 45 minutes later after he listened to everything or whatever. He goes, "That was the greatest thing for this drive," and he's like, "I needed it." I was like, "You're fucking right, dude." Silverstein is life. So
I feel like people always feel like we only listen to like brutal death metal.
That's it. That's all there is.
I was gonna say I was listening to like Thomas
like,
Rhett and shit. I love country music, so I'm I'm all about it.
I'm a loser. I'm just
I'll be over there
listening
listening to Slightly Stupid. They just people look at us and be like, he only listens to death metal.
No.
You'd be surprised, my friend.
I like smooth jazz. I bump that so much.
Hell yeah,
you know, I'll bump George Benson just as much as I'll bump Black Dahlia Murder.
Hell yeah.
And I'll get down the exact same.
If we ever go anywhere and you put my phone on like a shuffle, you're gonna be like a slew of emotions, and like you're gonna hear a lot of like what you like what the fuck? Like what was it? I was at work one day, dude, and like that song by Kelly Clarkson, the Breakaway one. La, da, 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 da. Like that shit.
Hell yeah.
Dude, that came on. I was a plumber, dude. And that comes on, and I'm in this house building shit. A bunch of men. They fucking, we're listening, like, what the fuck? Something heavy was on. They were super stoked, and all of a sudden it goes to that, and they all like look. And like, I can't like even like just be like, yeah, I like it. Fuck you guys. It's just, I was like, fucking girlfriend. Stupid.
Yo, I feel that because like that's all my playlist is like death metal, tech death, grind, and then like some random ass shit comes on like The Cure. And it's just like, it's like fuck yeah, The Cure, man. Like,
Hell yeah.
throw you for a loop there, man.
Fuck it. Well, it's like if I ever think of something that I liked back in the day, dude, or like if I remember like a little thing from it, like maybe like a lyric, and I can find it on the Google, because now that's a thing.
The Google.
The Googs, man. You go on the Googs and you look it up, type in some lyrics.
Why you sound like a parent, nigga?
I work, dude.
Did you get me on the Google?
I need help connecting. But no, but finding that, and then like I'll save the shit to my phone, and I'll be like, oh fuck, that's kind of embarrassing now that I think about it, and we're listening to it in front of you. But I don't know.
No shame in my game.
Yeah,
Give me my Fallout Boy, dude.
No, that's different. That's what I mean. Certain things is one thing, but then you have something that come on, like I said, like Breakaway by like Kelly Clarkson. Like, look at me, dude. I was plumbing. You know what I'm saying? I was like manly. They were like looking at me, bro. And I just
fight them in the yard.
I can't. They would have ganged up on me, and like I understood why. And like, but it's all good.
They're just insecure about their
Plumbers
own.
ganging up on you.
You stop.
They're gonna plumb you.
I'm gonna get plumbed. They're gonna pipe me.
That sounds like
You're the little white girl on the couch, dude.
Shut the fuck up.
that sounds like something that you find on page 5.
Yo,
Not okay.
I'm not gonna lie though. They're like most guilty pleasure bands. I'm like fine with talking about. Like I'll admit that I like. But there are those certain
Some guilty
where I'm just
pleasures.
like, yo, you don't need to know about that. Like
This is me, baby.
yeah.
Like fucking like if I were like, okay, what was it? I remember being a kid and like thoroughly enjoying Ricky Martin with my mom, right? And then like I got older and I realized like I can't like this anymore.
Yo, hold on. I think there's like phases. There's like there's that you listen to it and then you become like probably like in middle school and high school especially. That's where you kind of hide some of your music.
Yup.
And then when you
starts
become
there.
an adult again, you realize like yo, I'm a full-fledged adult and I'll fight anybody. So for me, like like I'll roll up to the show, listen, every
I'm not
time we
gonna lie.
touch, and I'm like, this shit slaps. I don't care.
Was
like
the Titanic song? If you don't,
Celine Dion is a national treasure.
National treasure. Like,
what was it?
I don't care anymore.
The Kingdom Hearts theme song, the old one. The first Kingdom Hearts theme song was slaps. I would listen to that just driving around.
Are you talking about Sanctuary?
No, it wasn't. It was. I'm not gonna sing it, but like it was from the first Kingdom Hearts. The something Hitaku or whatever. I can't even say her name. I'm fucking
Sing it, damn it.
I feel like you got to sing it at this point.
Oh my god, how did it go? Hold on. Is that one?
First of all, I'm already judging you for just playing Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, you stop. What the fuck was it? That when you walk away. Yeah. Simple and clean, bro.
Simple and clean.
And then, that was the shit. There's a jam.
Unironically on the playlist now. Don't care. It's on Spotify. I assure you.
I swear, like that shit'll come on too. And I'll be super happy. Like I'll be driving or whatever. I'll be like Motley Crue. This comes on. Tight. Everyone in the car is just like looking at me. I'm like, fuck it. The kids like it.
I mean, like we had that little era of emo nights for a while.
Yeah,
when they first came, it was
that
a
first
lot
wave
hype,
of emo nights, bro.
and then they oversaturated. And it was like, now this is stupid.
Yeah.
I feel weird listening to it. It was supposed to be like once a year type of thing.
Yeah,
where
it was like
hey,
super
I'll
sporadic.
be sad and listen to the used, and now it's just like I don't feel right listening to this anymore.
Yeah,
I can't be sad all the time.
Yeah, and I can't be sad in a room full of happy fucking people everywhere either.
Right? It's not the same type of sadness.
It's not. It was one thing when it was like it was a crowded room. Like it used to be super tight because like everyone was there. Everyone was super friendly. But then it got to the point where everyone was like pushing just to go up on stage and look fucking like I want to be fancy at emo night and have pictures of me taken. And it's just like it gets super annoying. So we did it.
Yeah,
but we did it when it was okay.
Because you were like one of the first people to do it.
I'm not flexing on shit. Weird flex, but okay. No, it's just
we were down at the Rebel Lounge and like,
but it was
like,
it was
crowd surfing on people, listening to Fall Out Boy,
and it was fucking awesome,
and it was lit. And
And
then like we were like we did it first, so like whatever.
Yeah, but it just been seeing. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I guess that is what it is. What was that shit?
I mean, I feel like
Rocket Power. There was Shoobies. Is that what they were? Just like,
My man pulled out Nickelodeon lingo.
what is Shoobies doing here, bro?
So, which locals are killing it right now? I'm gonna shout out Singularity.
Fuck yeah.
Them
Make it
plus.
sound like that's new.
Well, yeah, no, they've been killing it.
In case you didn't know.
Been killing it.
Like,
I had people like straight up like talk to me about. I was like, hey, I want to listen to new bands. Send me some like my friends out of state, and they're like, bro, have you heard of Singularity? I'm like, yes, yesterday. Like,
Man, you are an elitist. Jesus.
I'm from the state. Like, of course I heard it. Like, that's what I was just like, what? Like, that's like someone going up to you like, man, have you heard of Knights of the Abyss? Someone in Maine. It's like, yeah, okay. You know, it's like, okay.
see, I just wanna. Yeah, I wanna shout out some bands right now. So
Beyond Our Suffering, they just dropped a song.
I was just gonna say
they've been really pushing to make some moves.
Dude, their online presence, like with the music they've been putting out, like they have, I think it's like 3 singles out, and I fucking jammed them. Like they're the newest one they just put out. It's just so fucking, I don't know. I really like that. I'm super stoked because they're doing that show coming up, aren't they? That's gonna be their debut, and I'm fucking
May 3rd.
Yeah, dude. And it's gonna be so fucking lit. Like they're all really nice dudes. They always come out to ARG shows and stuff like that, and they're always just like super supportive. So I'm just really stoked to be able to go see what they're gonna fucking do. And like finally, like I have such faith in them. It's gonna be fucking awesome. But other than them though, fucking dude, I am like the biggest fan of Dropout Kings.
hell
Like,
yeah!
I just love everything about it, and I've been listening to their stuff. And that single they put out with the Day Shell dude. Fuck, or I think it was a Day Shell release, but it was like featuring Dropout Kings.
yeah.
But I don't give a fuck. It's a great song, and like I would jam that every morning, like low key. And I just like there's like what they're doing. Like I don't know. I'm just like super stoked on them and like the progression they've made and how far they're actually like they're doing all this stuff. And like there's a lot of eyes on them. I feel like with them being on like they're actually signed and they're. I'm stoked for them.
They're
like,
some busy boys.
yeah,
that's for sure.
exactly. And they're keeping fucking busy with it. And it's just I don't know, that fucking hustle behind everything, dude. Just dude, and they have swag.
Yep, they always looking good.
Yeah, and fucking they have so much swag. Motherfuckers try to steal it.
Yep.
I seen their shit on. I seen what they're pissed about.
Let it go.
I won't let it go. I'm on this side so hard, dude. This is like gang shit.
You're not even in the band.
I'm not even in the band. No, I don't have to be in the band, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Apparently, Dropout King has hitters. It's a part of my band. I didn't even know. Like,
I back you guys, dude.
is it SOS?
That's your boy.
Whose bands is this?
Yo, I'm the right man's.
Honestly, like the Ephemerals last release, like,
Oh yeah.
they slayed that shit, like for real. Like I've been playing that constantly, and like when I saw them live and they did like the release show, man, they did wonderful. It was wonderful, and I'm super excited for their next moves. Like, like Nick's voice is like in my heart, like
Hell yeah.
straight up. So definitely those boys. I'm excited to see what they do next.
Hell yeah.
I also can't help it because both of the bands are sitting on his shirt and on the wall. So Pariah and Dead World Reclamation.
Yours truly.
Two sick local bands. For sure.
Because, dude, the single you guys did put out, though, like, I'm, like, fucking, like, haunted by that, like, listening to it. I was like, this
Hell
is
yeah.
fucking good. And, like, dude, your guys' vocalist is just fucking insane, too. The way, just, like, his cadences and the way his enunciation, I was just...
Yeah, we got really lucky when it comes to picking up Connor.
Blessed.
Yeah.
Fucking blessed. No,
Yeah.
Dude, he's a gangster. And, like...
Bless.
Fucking
And
man.
playing the Pariah CD release show, like those guys fucking
Dude, they fucking
slayed.
slayed.
Yeah. Left and fucking right.
My man Josh out here.
Yeah, buddy.
Got me insecure.
Oh, dude. No, they're the fucking Pariah is fucking about the business though too. The fucking I forget the name of the song, dude, with the music video with them in the green room and everything. And
Oh,
You're talking about like what the
was it Lead Rain?
but you're talking about like the hospital. And
Yeah.
everything.
yeah, and they're
The
the
one that
fucking
had trouble playing on Facebook. Just
yeah.
because there was a
I saw
hospital
something about
scene.
that. Yeah, I was
Some
so pissed
bullshit.
when I seen that because dude, that video is so fucking tight and like, dude, just the way he just fucking nails it. I fucking love it, dude. Like, I get so stoked watching. I did like a listening party or we're watching party bullshit thing on Facebook, and I was just like, oh, I can add more videos to this. And I just watched a bunch of people's music videos, and I had theirs
Hell
on
yeah.
there. I had Apex's on there, and then I had Dropout Kings, or Day Shell's video, whatever you want to call it. But I had that on there, and like, I don't know, super gangster.
Hell yeah.
Who's next?
No, like I really like everyone that on the roster. I mean, like obviously, like I believe in all those bands and killing it. Bands outside of that, Pariah is definitely one of them. Your band is definitely making your own strides.
Thank you.
Dropout Kings, is doing their own respected strides.
Killing it.
And then like in the after, they're really good. You got to keep a good eye on them. Also, like for like rap, there's Ramna, Cody.
Oh yeah.
Boy, Connor.
That's the
Boy.
homie,
Yup,
dude.
Cody.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been seeing the videos, dude. Yo, it's live. It's live at the shows.
Well, dude, and he got me like I've been listening like since going to that one show y'all did, and then like who was it? The one, oh my god, is it Jack Acid? Was that
dude,
his name?
Jack Acid brought
Dude,
it, dude. He went
no
in.
shit. Like I'm like I follow
He's
him on-
hyped, guys.
Oh my
like
god,
look him up. Like he's hyped.
fucking
as
real.
Fuck.
And then who was it? He had what was his name? It was like he had the Naruto name, I think, or whatever the fuck. Spooky Kage. Or whatever, yeah.
Spookage, dude.
That motherfucker.
When I saw that name, I was like, yo, get out. Yo, that's about as special as Boogie with a hoodie, dude. That's my favorite shit.
But he's so
it.
it was so hype, and just like seeing that, like going from like the like seeing motherfuckers practically break a stage from jumping so much.
Dude,
that was
hell yeah.
so. I was just like, oh my god, it's like those Facebook videos I scroll through, and like it was lit.
But I was there.
Yeah, I was shook. I'm like looking back at Eric. I was like, oh my god. He's like. Like it was lit, but it was just like what is going on?
Remember Eric was like, yo, the stage, please.
Yeah, seriously. Why are you stomping? What does the stage do to you?
The stomping's implored, dude.
Why are your feet so heavy? That's the real question.
But that was the thing, dude. This dude had feet like fucking bricks. He just bah, bah, like,
cinder block foot ass boy.
but you know what? That added so much energy to it. Like I felt it for goddamn sure.
Yeah, definitely brought a lot of energy. I was like, okay, you guys had high intensity. I'm definitely feeling it, and they definitely brought it.
Point across. You know, it's just like fucking A. And that was super tight.
If you haven't checked out Eric Clausen,
fuck yeah, etc.
Yep,
dude, my god, he's a homie. Mm-hmm. Dude, when my first show like I ever fucking played like at the Underground, I got to play with him when he was in his band The Culmination.
Oh hell yeah!
And that was dude, fuck yeah, and just man. I think about him because he's such a nice fucking dude and he's like so sweet and like he's so gangster with his fucking raps though too. Like I remember seeing the first time he did it and he just came out of the fucking wood. What? And like he just slays it. Like everything he does because he's already like when he's with like on top of him being able to like actually rap and like have that flow, ask whatever you want to. He has deep fucking meaning behind what he talks about. Out of this fucking world. And that's my favorite fucking part because like he sits there and he tells me, he's like, dude, you're so good at what you do. I'm like, what? Why, thank you. And like, because like seriously, like he's just beyond capable at everything. And just like him going from being able to do like the music like he did with The Culmination to now like he had like the poetry and now he's taking that poetry and it's like, there's just so much focus on his lyrics. And that's what I'm super stoked on because like that needs to be seen by the fucking world. And that's just honest to God. He's the shit. Be fucking damn, yes, he is. Yes. I'll drink water tonight. This is water.
Amen, brother.
Amen. Big 10-4.
Yeah. Texas size 10.
That's what you're looking for.
You guys got any shows coming up that you guys are playing that?
We got, on my end, I got Friday, May 3rd, Smile in the Center with Parallels, a continent named Coma in the After, Beyond Our Suffering's first show. That's a freebie show at Pub Rock, so the lint in your pocket's enough to pay for that show. So by all means, come roll out.
Yeah, not for alcohol.
Not for alcohol.
Tip the goddamn bartender.
Never free.
Yep.
And then also Friday, May 10th at Pub Rock, Exiled Martyr's headliner with Apex Alpha, Apocalypse Pony, which is going to be their first show. And then from LA, Thorn, Tyranny. And then we have Exit Wound making their first show. So that's going to be a good time. And it's $8 online. And we do have the ticket link probably somewhere in this video, maybe.
Yeah. Check the description down below.
That coming up.
Pop up.
I'm supposed to say that, but I'm a shitty host.
No, you're. I'm being a smart ass. I'm sorry. I overstepped the boundary.
Oh no. No, there are no boundaries.
You're right, dude. It's like the YouTube like cliche, dude.
I wouldn't tell him that there's
Like a
no
share.
boundaries.
Hey,
Don't forget to
There's a couple
boundaries.
I was gonna say you had no boundaries. I got some topics we could talk about. Like one, why do Bang energy drinks make you so gassy?
What?
I mean,
Out of all the energy drinks, Bang energy drinks make me the gassiest.
That one, yeah.
I'd be fucking having to hold some farts. And like,
Do you know from experience, like sharing a car ride with them or
no,
something?
dude, this is what they anticipate because they get mad at me, dude. Because like I'll like have like a series of some dope farts, right? Is what I like to call it, and I'll like record a video or whatever or some sound, and I'll send it, and they're like, they won't open videos for me anymore.
Will not.
Because they think there's a chance it's a fart video now.
Should really start Fart Book for real.
Yo, I fucking have some solid sound clips.
I'd be interested to hear those.
Yeah, I got
to say.
Inappropriates. All right.
Yeah, I fucking fart a lot.
Touring with this man is going to be.
Well, he says that they don't stink.
Yeah, that's the best part. It's just
everybody,
sound.
no, everybody says that though.
I know.
We'll find
It's
out,
going to be
'cause
that first time that we get in there and he's just going to let one loose.
And to be fair, we're also
going to
be trapped in a fucking like tin can at that point.
Dude, like, I'm telling you, like you rip one and it's ratchet. Let me tell you,
If it's ratchet,
it won't even be on site. Like I'll wait till you're asleep and like Full Metal Jacket you with like socks. Like just, all the band will beat you with socks.
you're gonna beat the gas out of me.
Yeah, like go fuck yourself.
Come back. I have to go to the doctor. Why don't you fart anymore?
So we went from shows to Bang making you gassy.
He just went out there on the limb, but
You guys said it on and anything goes.
Yeah.
And then you took it back.
That's what I told you.
Hold
Not
it,
to tell
run it
them that
back.
no
Let's run it
boundaries
back
is
for a
not a
second.
good idea. with
there's
this.
also more shows.
There's no
Sorry.
but not like that.
Or whatever, man.
We're going to find a really good edit point for this.
Man, I'm just fucking here.
This part's the edit.
Take nothing to vocalists so seriously. I don't know how to talk.
So this is when the video actually resumes.
Oh, I got some. So yeah, show's coming up.
That's a weird jump cut.
Right.
We don't talk about it, bud.
You said
That'll
May
be the
10th,
trailer for it.
for that one?
10th, yeah.
May 10th
May 10th.
for you guys.
Yeah, we're,
Okay.
trying to burn down the venue. It's like, just kidding, don't do it. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a banger show for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then where can everybody catch you guys on social media?
Oh, you know,
Everywhere.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Give them links.
Oh, you know, it's just the Exiled Martyr. We took all of it. We branded all of it. You can't have it.
Pretty much. Yeah, if you
So
type
it's
in
real easy.
anywhere,
Just type in the Exiled Martyr. You will find us. SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify,
Fucking Google.
iTunes.
if you just Google
just
it.
Google.
Get on the Google.
Yeah, on the Google.
It's definitely worth a Google.
Yeah, right. No flex over here. Just like, yo, Google us. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not sure about Bing. I don't trust Bing, but you could try that
Bing
too.
is for cops.
Is that Bing on your phone? Yeah. Get the fuck out.
Fucking narc.
Yeah, get this man out.
Take your shirt off. Let me see the wire. It's my headphones.
No.
And Eric, where can we keep track of you as far as management goes?
Honestly, just Facebook and Instagram. I'm still building my brand, if you will, so that's going to be, just a whole entire process in itself. But you can find me and my wacky adventures on Facebook and Instagram primarily.
Okay. Hell yeah. And then, of course, you can catch us on YouTube, Arizona Breakdown, Instagram / Arizona Breakdown. And I want to say thank you to everybody for coming down today.
Oh, well, thank you for having us.
But, thank you for watching. And till next time.
Play music that people like, that's fine. There's plenty of avant-garde bands out there that love doing what they're doing, but if you're gonna force it, why don't you like my avant-garde noise jazz? It's like, it kind of takes an acquired taste to listen to your avant-garde noise jazz.